How's it going, my G's? It's Artifact, and today I present to you the Didgeridoo bass. So that was actually a flute in the picture, not a didgeridoo. However, looks like one. Why have I got a didgeridoo sound then? Well, this actually comes from a vocal sample from my good friend Freedon, and the original vocal sample is recorded here. If I just play it to you quickly. So this is the sample that he played with his mouth instrument, and yeah, what I've done is I've re-sampled it in Vital, and I've got a couple of cool little things to show you. Quite a nice full sounding bass, and we started by just throwing in this sample. Obviously you could just re-sample a didgeridoo sound that you can find on Freesound, or record your own if you have a didgeridoo, or you didgeridoo. So it already sounds quite cool. Let's turn off our unwelcomed dinner guests, go back to the voice setting sample section here. So this is just the file on its own. Then we've thrown the sample again into Oscillator 1 to create this wavetable version of the sound. Then on LFO 2 we're going to have to set the speed and to get it to cycle through the waveform just right so it matches the sample. So what we do, we start off like this. We can make a nice chord out of it as well, but for this instance I wanted to match the exact pitch, so I've just pitched it down until it fits. And then on this LFO2 here, I've just made a ramping up, so we cycle through the waveform, and you know, you can see the sort of samples tend to drift away towards the end if I don't have it matched correctly, this exact line. Which also creates quite a cool effect. So that's something that's really interesting, is having a sample of sound and then having the wavetable version of the sound, and then trying to get them to fit together in the timing, and also maybe potentially having them a little bit out of time so they kind of sort of drift apart towards the end, which creates quite an interesting progression of sound. Anyway, let's say I'm pretty happy with that one. Then throwing in a sine wave underneath to give a bit more power. And just turn the level down a little bit, and a little bit of frequency modulation from the sample just to like blend in a bit of kind of top end noise to the sine wave. And then third one here, a kind of triangle wave, which is an octave higher, so it's +4 rather than -8, because I think that's 12 up. Is it? I'm not sure. It kind of sounds good. And on this one, I've actually mapped the level to some automation, which I'm going to go into in a second. So just to sort of make this sound a little bit more dynamic then, you know, we've got this original kind of rhythm to the sound. So I want to sort of emulate that rhythm. And so what I've done is I've created a third LFO, and I've just tried to sort of copy the rhythm of the modulation of the sound. And that's what I've mapped this level to here of this third oscillator. You can see it kind of goes dum 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 dum, and I've just kind of played around with it until it kind of fits. And we're going to use this on some of the other settings on our effects. So the three ones I've got really are just compressor, distortion, and EQ. And the compressor, it adds like a lot of top end. So you can already hear the LFO movement here, which I've mapped to the mix of the compressor. So we've got this nice kind of high end coming in and out. Then it all goes through distortion, and I've done a similar thing on the drive here. So we're actually gonna sort of be linear folding this sound all together. So that's on the LFO as well here. And it's a little bit off. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit, not exactly in time, because at the end of the day, whatever sounds good is going to be great. And the final thing I've got on is a filter, and not the final thing, the one before the final thing. And actually, what I've done on this one is I've pretty much just turned all of the settings off. So, there's a tiny bit of low end. You can barely hear it. But what I've done is I've made it so that there's no frequencies at all. And then I've put this on the LFO here. So it's almost like I'm just dipping the volume up and down. I could do this up here on the volume slider, but I like to see it moving in this kind of orange color. Yeah, at the end, a little bit of EQ to reintroduce a bit of high end. Just got it on the LFO again here, or on the gain of this high EQ, and you can see it's going up and down. That is our didgeridoo bass, and then it goes through some post-processing and a lot of other cool stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoy that and it inspires you to create some kind of interesting, organic / synth sound and make music and stuff. Have a good day, guys.